Good evening, mystery solvers of YouTube and or the internet. This is your host, Cutter Magnificent, and let me be the first to welcome you into my latest YouTube series, Storming the Castle. Today we'll be looking at Episode 5, Puzzling Matters. Ooh. Now, just for a quick recap of what we have accomplished so far in the previous episodes. Alright, we're looking into the murder of one called Samuel Myers, who had a deep connection with this guy, Richard Castle. His death was staged to mimic the famous Halloween scientific novel Frankenstein, as written by Mary Shelley. Now, we've been for the last few episodes, we've been assembling clues, inventory of clues to figure out who or what killed Samuel Myers. So, now, previously on Storming the Castle, we have located 2 batteries to the universal remote, which we found in episode 2. So, let's check that out, shall we? We're gonna click play. And here we are, back at the Universal Remote. So now, for those of you who may have missed episode 2, this is basically a puzzle game. So we're just going to click puzzle information, and here are the instructions. Turn all of the arrow buttons on to unlock the remote control. Clicking an arrow button will turn it on. You can only turn on buttons that are pointed at the currently selected buttons. The current button is colored red, while the other buttons can be selected are colored pink. If you get stuck at a dead end, please press the reset button to start all over. Okay, so we're just okay, and get right back to it. And so we're just gonna push reset. This. Alright, now we're just gonna push reset. So the process of elimination being this is Okay, so we're gonna try one more time, and I'm just gonna push skip because this can be a little bit tricky. So let's see, process of elimination. So let's push this. And we're just gonna push this. Ooh, you're that close. But then again, we're just gonna push the skip. Aha! And thus we have unlocked center. Now let's just use our handy dandy magnifying glass and take a look. This VCR. It appears it's a DVD player. Look what we have found! We have found an important clue. It is a handkerchief. Ooh! Alright, so it says, again, we have found a handkerchief with the initials C-A-M. Could be important. And now we join Richard Castle with further updates. Looks like we found our first piece of evidence. This handkerchief could belong to whoever vandalized this place. We should get it to Laney for testing. Oh, what's this? Oh, it appears the phone is ringing. Well, common sense tells us we should answer it. It's Laney. What do you have, Laney? She says, I finished the initial inspection of our victim, and what I've found is quite astonishing. You guys might want to come down here as soon as you can. And Captain Beckett responds by, we found something as well, a piece of evidence that could lead us to a suspect. We'll need to have it tested for DNA. We'll bring it to the lab, she says, and we'll prepare it for testing before we discuss what I have learned so far. Alright, now we're just going to click the blinking map, and it says, ooh, look, we're going to the lab. Let's just click that. And here we are, as seen in many Castle episodes, the coroner's office of the NYPD. Let's just see, we're going to look around here. It says, I should talk to Laney first before touching anything. And here we have Laney. Let's go to see what she has to say. She says, I have found some new information for you, but first, let's deal with the evidence you found at Myers' place, shall we? Castle says, we found a monogrammed handkerchief in his living room. The initials are C-A-M, so it probably doesn't belong to our victim. Let's take this out to the lab for DNA testing. Alright, so what do we do? What to do? I don't think I should handle Myers' body without Lainey's supervision. So, we're just gonna click the hints, and we're just gonna walk out and go over to the lab equipment. And handle the tray. Oh, I get it. I should place the evidence that needs to be tested on the tray. So we're gonna place that right over here. And thus, the DNA will need to be swabbed from the handkerchief. So, let's see. I think I just found a clue. I'll need to add a sample of DNA to the solution before putting it into the centrifuge. For those of you who don't know what a centrifuge is, it's basically like a giant mixer for test tubes that helps to circulate the DNA. DNA sample should be tested first, so okay, now we're just going to figure out what to do. Here it is, the DNA testing procedure. It says, swab DNA sample from evidence, add DNA sample to solution, and put the solution into the centrifuge and run. Okay, sounds simple enough, so let's get started with that, shall we? Of course! The cotton swab we found in episode 2. This will help to swab the DNA. Important item, the DNA swab. So now that we have swabbed the handkerchief for DNA, let's see what we've got. We're going to put it... sample of DNA. Alright, so we got through all of that. Now we're just going to push our handy dandy hints. Yes, and now we put it inside the DNA vial. And now we're just gonna... and it says we found an important item, the centrifuge tube. Oh, wow. Alright, so now we're just gonna move this over to the centrifuge, which is... we're just gonna close it, and then click the green switch. Oh, and now it says Captain Beckett is replying, now that we have got that settled, let's go see Lainey about the victim. So we're just gonna click the footsteps and go right back into the lab. And now Castle is the oven's been preheated for 400 degrees and the turkey's in. Now all we have to do is just wait about 5 hours before we have a delicious feast. Okay, I take it that you two are done setting up a handkerchief for DNA testing? Yes, please excuse Castle's unprofessionalism. For those of you who haven't watched the show, Castle can be a bit immature, especially around certain situations. But then again, it is good to have comic relief on the show, am I right, ladies and gentlemen? Of course, you know. Alright, so now we're just going to continue on here, and Lainey is saying, well then, let's get started inspecting Myers' body. Approach the autopsy table when you're ready. Alright, so now we've approached the autopsy table, and here it is. Our victim, Samuel Myers in the flesh. Here we go. Alright, so now it says, Lainey is replying that the killer must have hit Myers pretty good. The blow to his head probably knocked him out and could have led to his death. Hint. His arm. The incision made into Myers' skin were made after he had died. Look at how there is little to no blood around them. I found this in the victim's pocket. It may help you in your investigation. Now I need to perform a full autopsy, and I'm sure you don't want to be around here for that. I'll call you if I find anything. And look, it says we found this. The Mako Energy key card. The employee computer from episode 1 and 2 at the power plant. So that could come in very handy. So now we must leave. Now we just need to find a way to get out of here. Oh wait, that's right. We can just click our handy dandy maps and go back to the Mako power plant. Looks like we've got just in time. And speaking of time, we're going to be running out of it pretty shortly. Oh, and it appears we're just about out of time for this week, ladies and gentlemen, but do not fear, this episode is going to be even more thrilling. Join us again next time for another exciting episode of Storming the Castle, Episode 6, The Mystery Thickens. Be sure to like and subscribe to my channel, and if you have any questions or concerns, please leave it in the comments section below. Until next time, after a while, crocodiles!